Well, we're live. Oh shoot. Okay, you can't hear me. I'll fix that. I gotta change the mic settings. I think it's this. Okay, can you hear me? Hello, chat. Can you hear me? And I would like to thank LDG Pixels for helping me get online because I couldn't do it on my own. Yes, I hail from Goodyear now. We hear you. Very good. Awesome. Well, sorry to delay the program, but welcome to Insomniac Soup, Goodyear version. Hello, just another red shirt. Yes, we had some issues getting on tonight, but a huge shout out for LDG Pixels for helping me get live and on the air. We had to finagle a few things, but here we are. And I'll invite people on and we could talk about the craziness. So yes, for all your IT needs, and if you ever have issues with the internet and or you need a tune-up on your computer, please go to LDG Pixels and subscribe to his channel. He hosts the Waiting Room, and his secondary channel are Pixelate. Yeah, I know I'm late. I'm late. What, 47 minutes late? Jeez, I'm thirsty. Wow. Hello, Dee Dee Myers. Hello, Jennifer Kunkel. How you doing? I'm actually tethering off a Mac. I'm on an HP laptop right now. I know. Hello, Captain Drek. This sounds much better. Well, it's this mic here, and it's right there on the face. So, what can we do? Thank you, LDG. Thank you for saving us. No, I am at my parents' house in Goodyear, Arizona, which is at the outskirts of Phoenix. I'm here for Thanksgiving week. We're having dinner. What happened? Well, I forgot things in Tucson there. I was in a hurry and my mind brain farted. And, well, I couldn't get on because this computer was being stupid. And we had a hell of a time, didn't we, LDG? Uh, Hello, just another red shirt. You are welcome to come up. How's the picture look? Still okay? All I hear is myself talking. Good night, LDG, and thank you for getting me online live again. I appreciate it, pal. Yes, I am up and running. The soup is here. That picture looks like you. That's my mom. That's my mother. That's my mother in that picture. That's my mother. That's my mother back there. Hello, Captain Trek.
Hello.
Oh, good. I can hear you.
I said the picture, not the picture on the wall.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's a different background because I'm not in my tiny ass apartment. Welcome, just another red shirt. How you doing? How you doing tonight?
Thank you very much, Bill. I'm doing great. You got your tech issues resolved.
Yes, yes. It took a while, but we got it. Who would ever thought I would tether off a Mac to run an HP laptop? I don't know. My dad's touchy when it comes to his computer. He doesn't want me to change anything. So, but okay. I'll put everything back. You know.
It works the way I like it. Come on, I don't want you to change anything on it, darn it.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's some things that I forgot to undo before, and I've heard more than an earful. Hello, Philip.
Good evening, Jedi Bill. How you doing?
Good.
And everyone else, Captain Trek, just another red shirt. How you guys doing?
Very well, thanks. How are you, Bill? Philip.
Phil and Bill. Yeah, it's
Phil and Bill.
I'm doing okay.
Good. And hail, Captain Trek. So what's our topic for tonight, Bill?
Come better prepared for the next time. That would help. That would help. And don't forget things. But I always forget things. Who doesn't, right?
Always remember, don't panic, and make sure you have a towel.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And 42 is the ultimate question to the ultimate. So how's everybody else doing tonight? How was their day? You're back again. What's going on? You've had a good day?
I had a good day. I took the day off.
Nina, you're going back to sleep. Good night, Nina. Yeah, she can't throw things. She'd have to be if she could throw things and hit me that accurately, that she's the best damn quarterback on the planet. No comment? No, Thomas Potts don't have figure skates. There are no figure skates. They were rentals.
Yeah, I've never gone figure skating or any type of winter sport thing. I've been on the ice, but with bare, sneakers.
There, I'm back now.
Yes, you are.
I couldn't hear anything. All of a sudden, it's like nothing.
Oh.
Don't worry, we weren't saying how bad you were.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I appreciate the truth being told finally.
Just kidding.
So, anything exciting happened in YouTube land today? Or yesterday, I should say.
Exciting. No, not really.
I've just been watching video game and tech videos, so might not be up some of your guys' alley. Everybody's talking about that new Mac M1 processor and stuff, but LTG set me straight. Say no to it.
Yeah. I was just saying how I hate Mac products. I have a Mac phone and my dad has a Mac computer. They're a headache. They're paperweights is what they are. I don't know.
Well, they run Windows decently from what I hear.
Yeah. Well,
You still have a machine, well, depending on what machine you have, the machine that you can't upgrade, really.
the problem is I couldn't even get onto a network. So that was a big issue right there. You know what? I've been hard lined in for so long. I think somehow I had the Wi-Fi turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently his modem and all that is all wireless, so everything's Wi-Fi.
Right. Where is the modem at?
It's in the laundry room, which is right in front of the garage.
Mm.
And it's like way up there, and I don't even know if the modem has internet, but I would need like a 75 or 120-foot internet cable.
Either that or drill through the floor, which your parents would kill you for. So
yeah. Oh no, this is like the office, and then on the other side of this wall over here is the big living room area where the Christmas tree and the big TV is. Over there is the guest room that I'm sleeping in. Big house.
So you're taking over 2 rooms in the house now. Cool.
No, not taking. Oh, trust me. When my dad wants in this room, he'll kick me the hell out. So, I need my computer. Leave. leave.
What Dad wants, Dad
Yeah.
gets.
Of course.
Does he sound that stern? Like Apache Chief, you must go. Damn, like my dad has never used a computer. I think he used the Apple II to play Oregon Trail back in like the early 80s.
In the early 80s, that was called a Macintosh.
Yeah.
Apple II? No, before that.
What's
Oh, yeah, well, that
Yeah.
was in high school for that. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The Mac famously came out in 1984 with their advertisement.
The Olympic one were like,
No, the 1984 Big Brother one.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
they really
that was the big. I think it was in the Super Bowl, and it was the big intro to Macintosh computer ad. We're gonna break you free from Big Brother, i.e., Microsoft.
Now they're joining Big Brother. 2 Big Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole list.
Yes. to use a Mac to get me live. Who would have thought in 1,000 years that would be the case?
With
Hey.
you, Bill? Yes.
It's better than nothing. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you're here.
It's better than the steam-driven Dell that I have that I'm looking to replace.
Yeah.
You don't have to use punch cards to upload.
Yeah, almost.
Yep. So, any events, or I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say Thomas Potts. We had to do what we had to do.
Times were tight. Times were tough. I had to sell myself.
I was just throwing in. I was already throwing in the towel, and I was like, no. He was determined to get me live, and here I am.
I thought you were going to do a test run with him before. Oops. Didn't happen, did it?
Yeah. No, he just said, "Can I get online?" And once I said that, yeah, I can get to the StreamYard, I knew we were golden. So,
Nice. All right.
well,
Have you used any other operating systems before? I never used Linux before.
I haven't either.
I've had no reason to. I'm not a hacker or not make. Like, what's the point? Unless it's like some really old hardware I just want to use, but then I'll just buy new hardware.
or yeah, there's Mac that we're tethering off of.
You there, Jedi Bill? Did you disconnect yourself?
No.
Oh.
Do I look
Lost-
disconnected?
We lost some frames there for a while.
Yeah, that's normal, particularly with how it's connected.
Because I picked up the damn laptop, which I shouldn't do. Last time I'll do that. So who's been hanging out in chat? What have I missed?
Just Potts guy,
Nina,
D.D. Meyer,
Jennifer
Davis.
Kunkel, and Jason Saint.
Yeah.
Is
I
still
like
here,
that,
Jason?
Thomas.
What are you saying, Thomas? What are you saying?
Well, that message is like a minute old though. We're a few minutes.
I'm looking back at some of these. It's like, yeah, hey.
I only have StreamYard open. I don't know if I should test the waters.
Your parents still have your figure skates, and I can look. I'm looking at the comments from StreamYard, by the way.
Yeah. No figure skates here.
So, are you helping out with the Thanksgiving festivities? Like, are you cooking anything yourself or assisting?
Not yet. Not till Friday.
I bought some things to contribute, but I don't know if I'm going to be cooking.
I have to decorate. Help my mom decorate Christmas stuff.
Oh yeah, it's only fair.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed in the kitchen at Thanksgiving.
Why is that?
I only cook Chinese food. And nobody wants Chinese food for Thanksgiving.
I guess
Maybe
it's for Christmas.
That's a good idea.
New Year's is my holiday. I own New Year's.
But don't they have a separate New Year for Chinese New Year?
Well, they do, but I lived in Massachusetts until last year, and it seems like in Massachusetts, everybody has takeout Chinese food for New Year's. If you go to a Chinese restaurant on New Year's Eve during the day, they are handing out numbers like a deli. Come back at 7:00. We'll have your food. And they'll call your number, and you get up, you get your bag, and you head off. But yeah, it's crazy. And that I lived there for 35 years, and everybody did Chinese food for New Year's. It was all dim sum.
I have a good idea. Combine Chinese food with Thanksgiving. Like instead of like orange chicken, it'll be orange turkey, teriyaki turkey.
I do kung pao. I live in Texas now, so it'd have to be kung pao turkey. It'd have to be hot.
Oh, not for me.
Spicy.
That would be right up Bill's alley.
Yeah.
With the chips.
My addicted to spice now.
I could make the stuffing out of Bill's chips.
Jennifer, nobody called you that insane. No, nobody called you not.
Thanksgiving's a weird holiday. It's like a big holiday, yet there's like no songs, no movies based on it. Yeah. And people decorate for Christmas instead of Thanksgiving. It's like just holiday just kind of ignored, but not.
Have you ever heard of a film Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? You're messing them with the wrong guy.
Is that a Thanksgiving Day movie?
Yes, it actually is a Thanksgiving movie.
Yes, it is.
It's about him trying to get home for Thanksgiving. So yeah,
both of them.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah,
there's at least one.
I think there's some older TV made for TV one.
There are some others, but some of them are rather.
Just go visit the Hallmark channel. You'll find them there.
Yeah. The Hallmark Channel for all your holiday television programming needs.
We're on our way from.
I can't believe they have a channel. A greeting card company has a channel. Like, who would have thought?
It sells greeting cards.
Like, is it like the U.S. Postal Service going to have their own channel? Like, you know,
that would have to be the junk mail channel. Who would watch that?
By the way, just another red shirt. You would do well with voiceover work.
Okay, thank you. I'll add that to my collection of recommendations because I've lost count of the number of people who've told me that. I've looked into it and I said, you know what? I make too much money as a software engineer. There is no way I am starting over with that unless I get canceled. And then maybe I'll change my name and try and start doing voiceover work. But as far as I'm concerned, right now, Mike Rowe has that sewn up.
Oh, there's tons of small gigs you could do. There's,
I know.
Do it as a hobby.
And a couple other ones.
Here's the funny thing. There is a website for voiceover artists to advertise themselves.
Yeah.
And I looked and I checked once, just out of curiosity. I'm on it, except I live in California, which I don't. So my name's already out there as a voiceover artist. I'd have to change my name. Literally.
Huh?
I found my actual name on a site. So, sort of the actors equity thing where, well, you can't register your name. We already have somebody with your name.
Oh,
pick a stage
I
name.
Understand what you're
I'd
saying.
need a stage name to become a voice actor. Because somebody already has my name as a voiceover artist.
Darn.
Yeah. So I have thought about it. And I've certainly had plenty of people tell me, thank you very much. I am flattered. But right now I do too well with what I've been doing for over 35 years to strike out on something brand new. And I really don't have time to do it properly if I stay with what I'm doing, because I'm pretty up to the eyebrows with what I'm doing.
All right. But yeah, if you ever have free time, like, you could do it on a day-by-day basis.
Absolutely.
Like little gigs.
Well, if I ever get that free time, I will be in touch with you.
Yeah, I've thought about it, but yeah, I'm not like a radio voice guy, but maybe I could do like comedic voices. But I don't live in a quiet area here, so it's hard for me to find time to record.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
don't
I
have a
know
soundproof
somebody who
room.
does or who did radio work and is still doing voiceover work. So, and he does quite well at it.
Well, I had one experience with it when I write software, and a software company I was working for was very small, and the president decided to change the phone system. He got a fancy one. They came in, installed this big switch box, and apparently this thing had a voice automation system. You know, the sort of, hello, you've reached this company name
Right.
for sales, press, and all this. So I got nominated to record all of the voice messages for the phone system. And I get this sheet, and they're all numbered, and they're all written out, and I've got to read them. And I've got to sit at the phone, on a phone, speakerphone, and I have the tech from the company at my elbow telling me, press this. Okay, when you're ready, press this button and deliver the line. And when you're finished, press that button. If you don't like, then press this. You can replay it and review it. If you don't like it, and I'm getting walked through the whole thing. So I'm just pressing the buttons he tells me, and then I read the thing, and I hit the button. I go, play back. I listen to it. I go, that sounds good. Okay, next one. Button, read it. I went through 35 messages. I re-recorded one of them. 1 in 35. No,
Wow.
I thought, whatever. And the guy's sitting there, and he's staring at me at the end of this. And I literally did a double take because he's staring at me. I said, what? He said, you've done this before. I said, no, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. He says, well, then you've done voiceover work. I said, no, I'm a software engineer. I write programs for a living. I don't talk to people. And he said, well, I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've never heard anybody read the entire sheet and only re-record one. I went, really? Yes. Oh, well, I guess I read well. Was my answer. But yeah, I have done it, and the great one is I did not like the president of that company. I really didn't. I quit, and he was the one time he was nice to me. He said, "Okay, wait a minute. Tell you what, wait till next week, and I'll lay you off. Then you can have unemployment." I said, "Okay." And so next week he laid me off, and I got unemployment, and I found another job within about a week and a half.
Cool.
About 6 months later, he calls me up at my new job and says, "Hi, we're getting a new phone system. I wonder if you'd be willing to come in and record the messages for that." I went, "I'm sorry, I'm too busy."
No, you're fine.
See, the first thing you should have asked is how much.
Yeah,
Right?
I thought of that later, but the problem is, given what I thought of him, my price for that work would have insulted him, and he was bigger than me. I didn't want to insult him, and he'd been in the Army, so I really didn't want to insult him. So I was like, "No, I'm just too busy. Sorry."
Wow.
But but I have thought about it because I've done it. I mean, for press 1 for sales, but no, I've got a great gig now, so I'm staying with it as long as I'm going to milk it for all it's worth.
Nice. It's worth looking into, though. There are jobs that hire per job that it may be half an hour to record, and that's it, and you're done.
Yep. Well, let's put it this way: if my company, because I work in a very small software division in a very large company, multinational company that doesn't write software.
Mm-hmm.
They're a medical pharmaceutical distributor. I write software for doctors and nurses, but we're a side. I mean, we're an adjunct, almost like we're an appendix to this company. And, you know, there's always a possibility that someday they're going to go, yeah, we don't need the appendix. Let's do an appendectomy, and they're gone. And yeah, at that point, that given where I live, because I live in rural Central Texas, I'm in perfectly located, except I'm at least a half an hour from anything. So
just the fact
I can't
that
commute to an office.
Just the fact that you live in Texas and have the accent you do, you could pull anything.
Well, I'm from New Jersey. So now figure this accent for someone from New Jersey.
No, God, no.
Yeah. I grew up in New Jersey, moved to Massachusetts, learned that accent because I was too young to notice it, came back to New Jersey, and for the first time in my life, I recognized these people have an accent. And they sound like idiots. They all sounded like extras from The Sopranos. And I was like, I don't want to sound like that. So I spent the next 10 years trying to learn not to speak with an accent. Didn't work, but it didn't work because you can't speak without an accent unless you're, you know, Robbie the Robot or HAL 9000. But yeah. You know, well, I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
You see, that's the thing. Most people you can tell their general area based on their accent. I couldn't with you.
Well, I have one tell that puts me from northern New Jersey, but it's you got to be a linguist. You got to literally be an academic on accents to figure it out. But it's absolutely true. And there are three words that are a tell. The lady's name, Mary, the act of getting hitched to marry, and feeling happy or merry. And it turns out that I'm from the only place in the United States where those three words have three distinct pronunciations. Almost everywhere else, they're pronounced more or less the same. But to me, Mary will be Mary when she's married. They don't sound the same to me.
No.
And that's the tell. And I got nailed on that once in one of those internet, can we tell where you're from tests? And that was one of the questions. And they said, you're from northern New Jersey, but you spent time in the Boston area. And I went, holy cow, these people know me. The Illuminati have found me. I'm exposed.
Yeah, that.
But yeah, it's so thank you, because if you can't tell where I was born and raised and from my accent, I've actually done a good job on getting rid of it. Because I have worked at it, God knows.
Like I said, I have known professional voice actors, and you have that sound.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Now, if I could only learn to sing Piano Man by Billy Joel again. Because, boy, Bill, I listened to that.
Yeah.
And that was embarrassing.
Yeah, that's why we don't ever revisit those.
That's a good idea, because I'm never going to listen to one of them again.
Okay, what are we talking about now?
Karaoke the other day.
Karaoke.
Yeah.
I had forgotten, but I was reminded the other night that karaoke is derived from a Japanese word which means to make a fool of oneself in public.
Not actually, though, right? You're just making a joke.
Actually, I hated the way I sang it. So no, I'm not personally. I thought it was terrible.
Actually, karaoke is derived from Japanese, but not quite that.
Yeah, I got some karaoke stuff at home, but I never use it unless I'm having the people over, more in a festive mood, which never happens, especially in 2020.
You know, Phil, you ought to join either Rambling Canucks karaoke, or Bill has an after show.
I'm aware.
I
I don't like doing it on the internet.
Why not?
Oh, I'm worried that people record me sounding horribly, and it'll be forever etched into the internet.
Well, then use a different name that night. Have a different display up.
It's okay. I'll survive without it.
Will you, Phil? Will you survive without it?
I'll be half dead inside.
Only half dead. Okay.
See, I would just drop the. You just go with.
I'm not the greatest singer. I'll just say that. Like,
please, let me put it to you this way: none of the people who join in are professional singers.
But I won't name names. But yeah, I could tell.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
And there are people that are better than others, but it's not about talent. We don't, there are no points.
I know it's just about having fun. Like I've done it at the bar before, but like it's just different.
Yeah.
Have you done karaoke online?
Oh yeah.
Yep. We all seen Captain Drake, Rambling Canuck, and I. Nina. Feels like coming up and singing a song.
I used to actually sing, but then I don't know. I got stupid. Back in high school, I had somebody offer to pay for me to record an album. I didn't even think about it. I just turned him down.
I didn't hear one of your words.
And now I look back and go, that was stupid.
Pay for what?
Pay for me to record an album. Pay everything.
And what happened?
I said no.
Do you regret that?
Yeah, I do.
Good way.
There are a few other things I regret, but that's probably the biggest one. And here's the thing. The things I regret are the things I didn't do.
All right.
I might change things I have done, but the real regret is not doing it at all.
Hey, TWTG content.
All right.
Good morning.
Like I've done online karaoke and figured out that I don't want to continue doing that if that's what you're getting at. So no worries.
No worries.
Oh no! That wasn't meant to pressure you. I just.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
No, hell no.
Okay.
No, I actually like you. I'll pressure LDG or somebody like that.
What's up, Carlo?
I can say that because he's not listening now. Thank God he's asleep. That man has put in a lot of work, so yeah, mad respect for him.
LDG is still around?
No, I'm awake.
He should be asleep.
I'm awake, Thomas Potts. Why would he have a busy day? Other than help me get live?
Yeah, he did. And then he helped you get live. Yeah.
Yeah, I kept on wanting to throw in the towel.
Throw in the damn towel.
Yes.
Apollo's gonna die.
And yes, Thomas Potts or Carlo Albanese. Hail Kuroga. Hail Kuroga.
Hail on Kuroga.
Hail Kuroga.
Hail on Kuroga.
No.
Oh hell no.
Yes, because I'm in a different location. I am in a different location in a different city.
He's on the planet Risa.
I'm
Pleasure planet.
I'm where all the voters voted for the other guy, and who may or may not, probably more like he is the president elect.
Hey, I'm in California, so touche.
Well, as they say, the Electoral College has not yet submitted their votes, so therefore he is not technically president-elect until they have.
Well, almost everybody's acting like he is.
Yes, well,
True.
the media are, and Captain Trek, you do know that the Electoral College is, well, I'll be polite. It's politically incorrect.
Correct.
It's wrong for the Electoral College to decide this these days.
It's a republic, right? I thought they're supposed to decide on
here's
this.
the problem with that statement. The Electoral College decided that Trump won the election, not the people. So they may well decide he won again. So it's really up to them.
Well, the modern sensibility is that it's wrong for the World Series to determine by.
I do believe that
the World Series should be determined by the number of runs scored, not by the number of games won. That's the equivalent of the Electoral College. The 4 of 7 games in the World Series is winning the Electoral College. Scoring more runs than the other team in over 7 games is democracy.
Yeah.
And the idea is we should count the runs, not the wins.
Well,
by the way, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Actually, I'm making fun of it. I believe we should count the wins. And I think the Electoral College is one of the most brilliant things the founders came up with, just for the record.
I do think that the Electoral College should be overhauled, however, because I am opposed to the winner-take-all. I think if there's a split vote in a state like California, which has, I don't know, God knows how many votes, if half the votes go for one candidate or just under half of the votes go for one candidate and a little over half the votes go for the other, I think it should be split.
Well,
there are 2 states that do that.
Yeah, Maine is one of them.
Correct. I think every state should do that. That is my personal opinion. That is not the opinion of the creator of this channel. I'm stating my belief. But I believe that the Electoral College should represent the people. Therefore, each electoral vote should count on its own, not winner take all.
Well, the Electoral College was invented to represent the states, as was the Senate until the 13th Amendment.
Right.
And the whole point is that I can see your point, Captain Trek. I can. But let's remember that the Electoral College was to allow the smaller states not to be smothered by the larger ones like
Mhm.
Virginia at the time. And nowadays, it's not small states versus large states so much as it's rural versus urban.
Correct.
And the popular vote is so close in so many places that the Electoral College would become a knife's edge if we did proportional electoral votes across all of the states. We would wind up with the knife edge in the popular vote and a knife edge in the Electoral College, and it would be 269 to 271 or something like that. I don't think it would make it more obvious. It might make it fairer,
I
but
believe it would.
okay, and that I'm sure that's an argument that we could that could be made. I'm not going to say I want to argue it with you,
No,
and I don't know that we want to argue it here out of deference to Bill. But all I can say is that it's a brilliant solution to a problem that started out one problem and has evolved into a totally new problem, and yet the Electoral College is still keeping that from being one group of people in the country because they choose to live in cities from dominating elections.
Yeah.
That's pretty, in my book, that's pretty forward thinking.
Considering when it was created, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's my point. Yes, because in software we have a saying: you don't program for the future, because when you get there, the future ain't going to be what it used to be.
No, it's not.
So the founders did a pretty good job of predicting the future, in my opinion.
I would tend to agree. You're right.
Oh, the truck's
Oh.
leaving.
Truck's leaving.
Was that they're picking up on my microphone?
Oh, I don't know. Was there a
Yeah.
truck leaving?
It's not here. If you hear cows, that's here.
I don't live in the best recording environment, but usually my microphone is okay.
You know it's Tuesday. Wait. Yeah,
Not yet.
not yet.
It is
Not
here.
for me.
It is here.
Tuesday, yeah.
You all live in the future.
It's about 1:30 on Tuesday here.
What, do you live in Colorado or something?
No,
Oh,
Missouri,
Oh.
Central Time.
Missouri. Yeah,
The
Oh,
only
that's-
real time. The only real time zone. Central.
Yeah, my dad's from Missouri. Just a bunch of cornfields and nothing.
Oh, bullshit!
I've been there once when I was a
That's
kid.
Kansas. That's Kansas, for God's sake.
Yeah, Kansas is cornfields. It's one big farm next to Colorado.
And fireflies and cornfields.
So I heard Anti-Trucker was watching the stream where LDD and I ate that chip. I would love to hear what he thought of that whole show. What was it?
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
That would infuse World War IV. Oh.
Correct.
Was that the One Chip Challenge show?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Did you
Yeah,
see
that
that?
that was I couldn't watch all of it. I just looked at that chip and I went, "Oh no." That was the most dangerous looking chip I've ever seen in my life.
Quite honestly, I was expecting the exact opposite of what happened. I figured it would be Bill who got up and ran to the bathroom.
Everybody thought that. Everybody thought that.
And it's like Bill's sitting there, and then all of a sudden LDG is up and off.
That reminds me. We can get more folks in here. We can do it. Maybe we can do that tomorrow night. We can gloss over because I didn't have people. I mean, I was just Nina and Dwight was asleep in the chair behind me, and I'm screaming, "Willpower! I have willpower! I have willpower!" That chip did burn though.
Well, I hope.
That chip made me almost yak twice, and you almost saw me yak twice on screen. But I said, nope. Ain't gonna do it.
And yes, Thomas Potts is right. Anti-Tracker said that you were the champion.
Thank you. Anti-checker. I seen another guy just sat there and just him and his wife did the challenge.
All right, now I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
That's nice of the anti-checker.
You'll have to make sure next time that you cross the streams, Bill.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I have panelists to ask me questions.
Correct. There should have been one person on the panel for you and one person on the panel for him, not two people for him.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I don't know where I had all that energy. I wish I could have all that energy back. I was wired that day. I was really wired on Friday.
Oh, I could tell.
I think I got the chip in. I thought, okay, I was led to believe that we were still, all three of us were going to do the challenge. And then we were with Elihu, and then he said he was getting the chip. And then we don't hear from Meyer until after everything said and done. Like, oh, okay. You need something cool to talk about.
Well, it's your channel.
Yeah, but my mind's mush right now.
I could try to think of stuff like anyone buying anything for Black Friday week or month? Nope, I guess that's a no.
Well, yeah, I'm buying a laptop because I have to. So I'm looking at Dell's Black Friday deals, and I think I've got one. Pretty good. That's about all I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm good. I got a new 4K TV, and I'm good with that. I might get something on an online website, and then I'm done. And
medieval space engineers, Carlo. Isn't that?
I'm sorry.
That's that game that Bird of Prey plays, isn't it? Wasn't Bird of Prey playing a video game called Space Engineers?
Yes.
Oh.
Bird of Prey 5 plays it. Cinnamon plays it. Several others play it as well. Cinnabon is the server host for this incarnation. The original one was Andy Trekker. So, yeah.
Mm.
And anyone looking forward to Star Trek Discovery, STD, or
Oh,
Mandalorian?
Mandalorian, yes. Star Trek Discovery, hell no.
I've just watched the first 6 episodes of season 1 of The Mandalorian because my stepdaughter's here and she has Disney Plus, and I can't wait to get caught up.
Yeah.
I have been having a ball with that show.
Oh, there's new Animaniacs on Hulu.
I've been watching it.
Good.
I'm like 6 episodes in, I think. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
And I don't even like animated cartoons these days, but like it was good.
Cool.
A lot of references to things like 90s and modern day.
Yeah. I don't know why you would want to reference anything of today.
To make it relevant, they're poking fun at modern day stuff.
No, Doctor.
Well, it's either laugh about it or get stressed about it and cry or whatever.
Or
so
angry.
You gotta find a way. Yeah.
It's laugh or need blood pressure medication
or suicide hotline. So yeah, I'd rather laugh at it.
Same here.
And Carlos says he's enjoying Discovery. Okay.
You're one of the elite.
I mean, hey, go for it. Enjoy it if you enjoy it.
Yeah. Anytime I think things are too bad to laugh at, I go back and look at Bill Mauldin cartoons from World War II, and the two soldiers in his cartoons that were in almost all of them. In one are crouched down in a slit trench at Anzio at night, and there's tracers scratched into the darkness over them all over the place. And one of them says to the other, "I wished I could stand up and get some sleep." It's like, if I can't laugh at that stuff going on today, I go back and I look at that and I go, yeah, they had it worse. It was worse. I got it easy compared to those two guys. I got it easy.
Now, I will agree with Carlo that the third season should have been season 1. However, they should have left out Burnham completely.
That would help. Still wouldn't make a good writing, but it would make it better writing than it is. And Nancy's saying hi.
Hey, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Hey, Nancy. Okay. As an actor, let me ask you this: have you ever read for a part and thought, "Who the hell wrote this?"
Yes, many times. I've read some horrible scripts, but as somebody who's just willing to take any money waving my way, I'll just do almost any role at this point.
But it's not a bad thing. It's just, like I said, I asked, have you ever gone, who read this? Who wrote this?
Well, sometimes I'll excuse it if it's like somebody who has English as their second language. And I've read people with those, those difficulties with the language. And
right.
Like I'll do it, but like hopefully the director will let me say the lines a little differently so they make more sense.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, should the actors just like I know if you're an established actor, like you're like Patrick Stewart or something, you have the ability to turn down roles as you want. But if you're just trying to get in the industry, you probably don't have as much leverage to turn down things. I don't know.
That
Like,
would be
just
true.
take what you can get. Like, honestly, if they were to offer me a role in Star Trek Discovery, I would take it.
Of course. That would be idiotic not to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really like myself at the same time, but like, screw it. It's work and it's Star Trek technically.
In the legal sense, yes. It's like that.
On this time, Thomas, you may be right. I'm sleep streaming. I'm not really awake. I'm sleeping. I'm asleep at the wheel. I'm asleep at the wheel. See,
But yeah, if it's like some big franchise
I'm
like
gonna mow
Star
you
Trek,
down, Thomas Fox.
I don't think they have an excuse to have bad writing. They have this giant corporation behind them, and they have tons of money. So I don't think they have an excuse to have bad writing.
Correct.
I can see. Mostly, I work on independent films where they have an excuse. Like somebody doesn't have a lot of experience, somebody might not be well versed in English. That's excusable. But Paramount Picture, CBS, come on, man. Like, I would understand if it's like a teen drama or something, but this is not a teen drama.
Well, the problem is the writing is of the teen writing or teen drama ability. It's not the like I said, if you go back to what I consider classic Trek, they had the ability to present ideas, present more than one viewpoint, and not come down and preach in your face and go, here's what you should think. This is the right thing.
Well, in the original series, I mean, you had writers like Diane Duane and DC Fontana, and they could have written science fiction for any story they wanted.
Right.
They just chose to write Star Trek.
Yeah.
They chose to write Star Trek novels, but they could have written anything in the science fiction genre. And I question whether the science fiction series today have anybody writing them that has any knowledge of science fiction, let alone the history of the franchise they're writing for, whether it be Star Trek with Star Trek Discovery or Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I think Doctor Who's writers are mostly coming from if I remember correctly, from TV daytime dramas, soap operas.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I don't expect a soap opera writer to be able to write Doctor Who. So, the excuse for bad writing is, well, first of all, you've got to hire writers who are not just good writers, but they're good writers in the type of story you're trying to make.
That's a good point.
And quite honestly, from what I've seen, and yes, I've seen some bad Star Trek fan films. There are some really bad ones. However, they still had more passion. They still understood the focus of what Star Trek was. I don't know what the hell these people are thinking, to be quite honest.
Yeah, they're just using it as a quote unquote platform for their own ideas. Because, hey, like this has a big name attached to it. It's going to get a lot of viewers, and it's a way for my view to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing.
Right. Yep. Yeah, they have lessons to teach rather than stories to write.
And yes, you'll hear people argue, well, original series, Next Generation, they all had like ideology in them too, but it was, I don't know how to explain the way they did differently. They let the viewer decide on whether what was done was right or wrong, not tell you what was right or wrong.
Exactly.
Yes, my example of that was Rod Serling in The Twilight Zone, because I know, because he'd said so in interviews. He wanted to write morality tales, but he knew that he couldn't write a morality tale and get it on television. Nobody would put it on TV for him. So he decided to make it a fantasy series and write fantastic stories that had a hook in them.
Mm-hmm.
But you had to pay attention to get it. It's not in your face. It's there behind the story. You can watch every one of the episodes of The Twilight Zone as a weird story, and it's fun to watch, and it's entertaining. And then if you watch it again, maybe a couple more times, especially when I was a kid and I was watching these as a 7, 8, 9-year-old in reruns, because I was too young to watch them when they were new. I was an infant. But as a young child, I watched them and, wow, that's a really cool story. I love that. And then I watched it again about 5 years later, and I was in high school, and I watched it and I went, oh, wow, there's something else there. And I just got it. And that's the way you put your point into a story. You don't shove it in the viewer's face. You leave it for them to think about and come back to and notice the next time. You don't have to do it right now. And I think that's what the original series and TNG did in the same fashion. They didn't stick it in your face. You had to watch it again, or you had to be really watching carefully the very first time while you were enjoying the story you'd never seen before to pick up on it. That's my take on it. I think that's the difference between those stories and the modern era stories that we're seeing, where they can't do that. And I actually think it's not just they don't want to. I think it's they can't do it. I don't think they have the skills to create something with that much depth to it and that many layers. They have to tell one thing. They can manage that. And the problem is, the one thing they want to do is get their message out, so they don't have a story so much as they have a message. Mm-hmm. So if they were better at storytelling, and this goes back to my pick the people who know how to tell good stories of the type you're trying to make, and then you hire them. And I think that's the problem with a lot of the modern stuff, and why I'm an old fart. I go back and I just keep rewatching the old stuff.
An old fart, yeah.
I have my curmudgeon card. It's in the mail. Well, I'll get it. It's in the mail, but I'm going to have my curmudgeon card.
Okay.
Yep. But I think, like, do you ever get tired of it? Like watching like some series like the 10th, 12th time? Like
yeah, I do. I have to leave it for a while and come back to it when I haven't. It's not all fresh in my mind. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of those people who can watch the series and get to the end and start over again, or watch The Lord of the Rings
Oh yeah, I can't do
you
it
know,
back to back or something. That'd be
right.
insane.
No, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I've probably read the Lord. I lost count of the number of times I've read the Lord of the Rings at about 10.
Damn.
But you know, starting in 5th grade, and I gave up counting around, you know, high school somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I do go back and rewatch, and I'm rewatching the original Star Trek series now, again. And I rewatched The Prisoner a couple of years ago, and I've been watching and Robert Meyer Burnett talk about The Prisoner, and I've had a blast watching their discussions about it, because you know, that was the first thing I got really into, and talked to somebody who was as into it as I was. That was the first time I met anybody that took this stuff as seriously as I did, and that was a long time ago. So no, I keep going back.
Yeah, right now I'm watching Voyager, like off and on right now, like season 3. Like it's better than I remembered, actually.
Yeah.
Like the series has flaws, and I noticed the errors in it, but it's way better than what we got today.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the sad part. That is the sad part. My least favorite Star Trek series, you know, are better than anything they're producing today. But that's why, and Star Trek the same way, which is why I'm like, I am loving The Mandalorian, and I'll probably go back and rewatch it and go, oh, now I found a whole bunch of things that I think are silly, but it's just so much better than anything I've seen. I mean, this to me is better than the prequels. Most
I don't get a lot of people. Well, not a lot, but I'd say a decent amount of people hate it for some reason. Like, I guess because of the baby itself.
Yeah, the baby's a polarizing character in that show. I mean, I've seen that on YouTube. Anybody talking about The Mandalorian, the chat turns into, you know, the child lovers and the child haters, and it's like, why? It's you know, it's not even that big or interesting a character. It doesn't even do much except squeak occasionally.
It's a plot device to me. It's like
every time I see the child, I have to say, I've said this on a chat or on another channel. Every time I see the child or a picture goes up in YouTube, I think from Spaceballs. Merchandising. I'm like, that was put in there to sell dolls.
And here's the problem with that. They forgot to make the dolls first.
Yeah.
Well, they got them now, but yeah, they could have had them when they started.
Yep.
It's like, you've got perfect merchandising. You've got something you can sell. Oh, we forgot to make it.
We forgot to make it. Fire everybody in marketing. Actually, that would be good advice to most companies. Fire everybody in marketing.
But yeah, I'd say I like this better than the prequels as well.
You know, the only real issue, I'll be honest, the only real issue I had with the prequels is not the actor, but the character of Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, I had a problem with the actor for Anakin, but I'll agree with you. Jar Jar Binks was the most yank me out of the story character in that whole series.
Which Anakin?
The young Anakin. The pigtailed, you know, Padawan.
Pigtail? Wait.
Well, whatever. He had the hair twisted things, the little pigtail type twists in his hair, if I remember correctly. But yeah, not the very young, the one who was the pod racer.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about.
Oh, so no, not the
Jingle All the Way kid.
Yeah. No, not the youngest Anakin, the one who eventually gets turned, but he just I didn't believe him. I didn't believe in him. I didn't believe him becoming a Jedi. I didn't believe him scoring with the princess. It's just, you know, like, no. I couldn't take him seriously. The actor couldn't. I don't think he had the gravitas to do that. He had to become this incredibly evil character. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, miscast.
Yeah, and there were things about the prequels I loved. I mean, there's no question, but yeah, there were some jarring. Sorry, Bill.
Huh?
No, there were some jarring moments in that. I mean, and
Want to say hello?
No.
Yeah.
yeah, Jar Jar Binks was one of the worst.
Lisa Jar Jar Binks.
Oh. They even made fun of that in The Mandalorian in the episode I just watched. Why the Mandalorian won't take his helmet off?
Hmm.
I didn't catch that. I what?
It's when he goes. It's when he goes to his old buddy, at the little space station, and he's going to do a job for him because he needs the money, and he puts him in with this team of people who don't take him seriously, and at one point they're all down in his ship because he has to fly them there. And he's like, I don't remember that being part of the deal. And what was the species that Jar Jar was part of? I forget.
Gungan.
He was what?
Gungan. Or
Gungan.
Yeah.
So the guy who thinks he's, the guy who's the head honcho on the team says, well, maybe you're a Gungan. Is that the reason you don't want to take your helmet off? and of course he just stares, the helmet just stares at him. And I'm just, I cracked up at that. I'm like, yeah, that's, you know what? This guy didn't like you before, but now he really doesn't like fun of them. He even made fun of them in The Mandalorian. So I'm like, no, Jar Jar was he was terrible.
Yeah, they poke a lot of funs at Star Wars jokes, like the stormtroopers not being able to hit anything. I made fun of that like last season.
Yep. And the irony is that the setup for the troopers is right in the beginning of the first Star Wars movie when they see the Jawa's sandcrawler, and Obi-Wan says only Imperial stormtroopers make blast marks that consistent or that even or precise. No, precise.
Precise. Yeah.
Precise. And I'm like, okay, so how come for the rest of the movie they're the gang that can't shoot straight? Because they were. I mean, they even wound up on Mythbusters. They watched the movies and they calculated the speed of the blaster bolts out of the stormtroopers' rifles, and they got some ninja character, some guy who was ninja trained to see if he could dodge darts that were being shot at him at that speed. Like, they're trying to figure out whether you could actually dodge the bolt from a stormtrooper's gun. And so, yeah, that became part of the lore, it's certainly part of the cultural mythos of Star Wars that they can't shoot. But the story was supposed to be they're the best shots there are.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to that. They seem to have forgotten that. The writers didn't seem to remember that part of the first movie at all for the rest of that movie and two more.
Oh, Thomas Potts makes a good point. He says Padme didn't age, but Anakin did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
There was that's the weakness of that story plot.
Oh, and I'm surprised they did bring back the Sand People because, just like the Gungans, like they're like culturally insensitive. I think.
Well, there was a lot of that in the prequels. I remember articles being written complaining about the Merchant Guild and how they all sounded like one group of people, stereotypical people, and the Gungans they sounded like another group of people, and I'm like, oh jeez, oh man.
Star Trek is guilty of this too with season 1, Next Generation, with the African planet.
Yeah.
No vaccine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Arguably one of the worst episodes.
Well, TNG was smart. They got their worst episodes out of the way early.
oh really?
Most of the first season.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Jedi Bill. I don't know if you are, but you said you were going to start to watch Next Generation. Have you started?
No, I haven't started.
Oh.
Uh,
But I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah, season 1's not rough, but like,
Hit and miss at first, yeah.
yeah, hit and miss, and then it gets good by, I'd say, season 3.
Yeah. There are good elements in season 2.
Oh,
which
Measure of a
carry
Man.
over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Measure of a Man is season 1.
No, 2.
Man.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah,
think it's
you're
2.
right. There are a couple others in there as well that are good, but overall the season, it really gets going in season 3. But in all honesty, you have to watch all of them.
Oh, definitely. But like, if somebody's like not that into Star Trek, how to get them into it? Like, I think that's a good way of explaining it. Like, just hold on, it'll get better. But if they're not into it at all, like, I don't know, depends on the person.
Well, there was one show that it's like, oh, you gotta watch it through this, through the first season, and blah blah blah. It's like I tried watching it, and it's like, oh my god, this is the most god awful thing I've watched.
Well, sometimes people have a point. Like, when I first started watching Breaking Bad, the first few episodes, like, I don't believe he's this character. Like, he reminds me too much of Malcolm in the Middle's dad. And then I got more into it, like, okay, I believe him now. But there's still shows I have to start watching. Like, I haven't seen really Stargate SG-1.
I haven't either.
I haven't seen any Doctor Who. Maybe I'll try to get into Stargate.
Stargate's another one that starts a little slow. It carries one character over from the movie. The rest of the cast takes some time to gel, because that eventually became an ensemble cast show, but it wasn't at the beginning. So I will say that if you're dying watching the first season of Stargate SG-1, and I have about 8 seasons on DVD in my bookshelf to my right, just skip to an episode in season 2. Watch one. And if that grabs you, you can continue if you want and just watch it through in series, knowing you're headed for that. But that definitely started slow.
Yeah, because I've seen like 2 or 3 episodes. Like, it seems okay, but I'm not following the story, so I'm not invested into it.
Yeah.
So I haven't really tried.
That when they finally started to, the actors on that started to click with each other, that's when that show started to get good. And you start getting repartee, you start getting back and forth, little comments and stuff, and it works better. They all appear to be strangers at a cocktail party at the beginning. That's the way I describe it. And they're all meeting each other for the first time. And if you've watched the movie and you've seen that, the way that was done, and of course they had lots of rehearsal, it was a bigger production. It's episodic television. They don't get to spend as much time getting to know each other and all that. So it took a while for the cast to really come together on SG-1, the series. But I really liked it. So like I said, I've got a bunch of them on DVD. And that's another one I'm going to go back and watch sometime because I haven't seen it in years. Didn't watch the very end episodes and didn't buy the ending series, probably the last 3 or so series. But I will watch it again, and I may wind up buying the last of it just to have it all.
All right.
But yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm trying to get everything Star Trek on DVD and Blu-ray. I still haven't watched Enterprise, but I'm planning to buy it and then watch it. And then I'm going to pass on buying Discovery or maybe Picard.
You couldn't pay me to get those DVD. I wouldn't buy them with somebody else's money.
Like I even own the J.J. Abrams movies and new 3 movies, and I don't even like them, but I have them. I can't buy Discovery. I just can't do it. It's even worse than the J.J. movies. And I was surprised when I heard like some Star Wars fans don't like the J.J. Abrams Star Wars. Like, oh, so he's not just bad with Star Trek, he's also bad with Star Wars.
Well, it was funny because when they were first announcing that J.J. Abrams was going to be directing the new Star Wars movie, like, first thought came in my mind was, oh, another franchise is going to be fucked by J.J. Abrams. Yay!
I didn't see it that way because, like, the whole deal with when J.J. Abrams did the first Star Trek movie. Well, Star Trek 11 or whatever. People were saying, "Oh, he's just a big Star Wars fan. He's trying to make it like Star Wars, and all he knows is Star Wars. That's how he did Star Trek." So, in my mind, okay, maybe he'll do Star Wars good because he was trying to make Star Trek in the Star Wars image. So maybe he'll do a good job with Star Wars.
It was just a gut feeling. It's like, oh God, he's gonna fuck this up. And then, of course, I heard people say, "Well, he's a big Star Wars fan." So I thought, okay, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I could be mistaken. Maybe he's just Star Trek. He doesn't know. And then I watched the first one eventually, and I thought, yeah, okay, I was right the first time.
Well, I'm a Star Wars fan, but you'd have to be out of your mind to put me in charge of a Star Wars movie.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because I can't make a movie. And I'm not sure. I don't know what JJ's problem is, but his decisions just seem bizarre to me, and the direction his Star Wars and Star Trek have gone, I just wonder, what was he thinking? So, you can say, yeah, he was a Star Wars fan. He should make a great Star Wars movie. That just being a fan doesn't make you a showrunner, doesn't make you a producer, doesn't make you a director. You got to know how to do it, and you got to have a good idea for it. Again, comes down to what I was saying about writers. You've got to understand where it's gone to the point you're going to pick up the thread and you got to take it somewhere from there that makes sense compared to what's gone before. And I think he decided, I'm just going to go in a totally different direction. Didn't he do the alternate universe Star Trek? Is that him?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay. So he decided, I'm just going to drop everything that's been done, go off, invent a new universe, and start all over. Well, then it's not Star Trek anymore. It's just you're using character names. You know, you're not continuing anything. You're sidestepping, going to a completely different axis and going off in a new direction. So,
unfortunately, that's one of the defenses people give. Well, they didn't continue it. It's a, sidestep. It's an alternate reality.
yeah, and the good news on that is you don't have to consider it canon. You can say, well, that's in its universe, so leave it right where it is. We don't have to pay attention to it if we don't like it. It's not part of the canon because it's not in the same universe. So forget about it. So it's a double-edged sword. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I've been hearing rumors they still might make a Star Trek 14. I'm against it. Just the die. Well, at least that Kelvin universe version.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Let that go. I don't think it worked. I don't think it was successful enough to be worth another movie.
Okay, sorry. I have to let it die. Kill it if you have to.
I mean, out of the 3 movies, the third one was the best to me, even though it did the worst, which is ironic. But yeah, it's not canon to me. But I don't. What do we do with Star Trek from here? Just, I guess. Well, some people are liking Lower Decks. Like maybe just do that and kill everything else. Or well, I don't know if you guys are fans of that. Like, I'm mixed about Lower Decks.
Overall, I don't like it. I know. It was too many tropes for my taste. Because every episode you had to have tropes thrown in here and there.
Well,
I mean, we know it's Star Trek. You don't need to prove it by quoting Star Trek every episode.
Well, I haven't watched it, but I've certainly heard YouTubers talking about it. The Orville.
Yes.
And the Orville started out as a parody. It was intended to be a parody. But it's almost become Star Trek. Because it isn't making fun of or hating the material that it was parodying. Right. It is, to a certain extent, it's a parody and an homage. And I don't know. I don't think Lower Decks likes the material it's making fun of.
No.
From what I've seen of it, I would say Star Trek has sort of sidestepped into the Orville, and Star Wars has sidestepped into the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing we have to either of those franchises now.
You're right.
And the irony is that the best Star Trek we have now is a parody of Star Trek.
Yeah.
A parody of Star Trek created by people who don't like Star Trek.
For people who don't like Star Trek.
Exactly.
Oh.
Hail Kuroga.
That's our hail on Kuroga.
No. No, I didn't see that. Where's Pflugerville? Probably sleeping. He's smarter than the rest of us.
Yeah, it's a little past midnight here, but it's way later for you guys.
Not that much later.
Oh boy. Ouch. Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
You gotta go. If you gotta go, go ahead.
Yeah, I do. I gotta go take something, and then I gotta get some sleep, or else I'm gonna be useless tomorrow for today.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for chatting with us. It's
Oh
good
yeah,
talking to
I
you.
will
Yeah.
be back. And again, hail on Kuroga.
No.
It's been a
don't do
pleasure,
that.
Captain Trek.
Yeah. What a pleasure.
And I've got to
Live long and
say,
prosper.
and Jedi Bill, I've got to say, I'm going to have to head out. Luckily I have a short commute tomorrow, later this
Yeah.
morning. But yeah, I do have to actually make my presence felt at work today. So for 2 days
Yeah,
before
that's probably
Thanksgiving.
best. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to say thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure talking with you, Philip. And
Same.
I will see both of you and everybody in the chat, I'm sure, in the future. Be seeing you.
Yep. Catch you later. Thanks.
Live long and prosper.
So Phil, you gonna celebrate Thanksgiving this week?
I won't do anything special, especially since it's 2020. Can't do anything like super special, but yeah, probably do the same thing you're doing. Eat dinner with the family,
Yeah.
but nothing fancy. Just turkey and side dishes, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna go to any stores to do any crazy Black Friday shopping or anything.
Who needs it?
Yeah.
Well, people shouldn't have much money available for these.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of people out of work, but there are some people who are not.
Well, a lot of people are hurt. A lot of people, good people, because they abided it, really hurt them really bad, hard.
Yeah, especially if you're a small business owner or you worked for one. I'm sure you're having a hard time now. All these businesses, like I'm in California, where it's probably, I don't know how it is in Arizona, but I imagine it's rougher here than it is in Arizona for work and businesses.
I think it's pretty bad here. What I've heard.
Yeah, it's been a bad year for me, but I'm still around and still here.
It's been a bad year for everybody. We want this year to be done.
Yeah, I feel you. So you got plans for tomorrow? Or today, technically?
Yeah, I better get some rest myself.
Oh, you're gonna call it a night?
Yeah, well, don't want to, but I can't carry the stream, and I can see Thomas. I'm asleep at the wheel. Ah.
All right. Well, if you're gonna call it quits, I'm good with it. I'll probably go to sleep shortly after.
Sorry, folks. I don't know if you can. Unless somebody wants to come up and, I don't know. I can't do much more talking right now. It's been a long day already.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. No. What? No Fast and the Furious fans? Fast and the Furious fans out there? No.
I do need reading glasses.
Do you normally wear some, or you have to
No, normally I
go see
don't.
an optometrist?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say by the time you hit your 40s, your eyesight gets worse.
It's been declining, that's for sure. It's not what it used to be. I think looking at screens like this is all white. It needs to turn. It needs black. It needs to be.
Yeah. One of the things I used to do when my eyesight was really bad, I used on Windows. I don't know about Mac, but on Windows, there's a magnifier app or a program where you could like zoom in on parts of the screen, like so you could easy you read the text easier. So I like
Yeah.
search for that in the start menu. Just put in magnifier and open the app and use that to read things better. I wear glasses, and so yeah, my eyesight started getting worse in my late 20s or mid 20s. I had to do something about it. And oh, are you falling asleep? I guess
No.
look like you were.
But I think we better call it because I don't know if anybody wants to come up here.
Anyone in the chat, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah. Oh.
If you can't join the panel, at least talk a lot in the chat, maybe. Come on, guys, because Jedi Bill's, I guess, tired of talking to me.
No, he's not talking to you. I'm not talking at all. I'm dragging in the wind here. I
Thomas
can't.
Potts objects. Objects
I know.
to what?
Ending the soup.
What are you objectifying to?
Yeah.
I was thinking of Idiocracy when he said that.
I need to go to the privy in Georgia break. So, you want to keep the troops entertained?
All right. I'll try. Probably just be keeping Thomas Potts entertained.
Okay.
But go do your business, and I'll stick around for at least another minute or two,
Okay.
or maybe longer.
All right. Be right back.
All right. Let's see. Thomas Potts says, if you're tired, go to bed. I agree. Like the only reason I would like stay up, even if I'm tired, would be if like I'm getting like super chat money or something. They'd be like, all right, I'm staying awake. Money's rolling in. I saw the connection thing rolling. So let's see. What should I talk about? Let's see. So far, I have not worked on Star Wars or Star Trek. I have worked on the Orville, Future Man, a couple other sci-fi series. But yep, my two favorites I have not worked on yet. But I do know some people who did work on Mandalorian. I'm not like acquaintances, not like friends, but they work as background. That was like season 1 of that. Sparkly vampires for Bill. I mean, that might be a good way to raise money. Have them watch. What's it called? Twilight. Yeah. If people were willing to donate to see him being forced to watch that. And Jitsy's calling me a rat hole. You're a rat hole. Okay. Oh yeah, yes. I wasn't sure you're referring to Feature Man. Yes. I did watch all of Feature Man. Season 1 was really great, and the other 2 seasons kind of declined. But I worked on season 1 in the party scene where they're at the guy's party with the guy's boss. Where they're eating the chocolate balls. I was at the office party, and I had to eat the chocolate ball, and then it poisoned me, and I had to fall to the ground.
I'm back. Yitzy Lemons, you changed your avatar.
Hey, Captain Shrek's back.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if that you had a question for me or for Jaddy Bill.
For you.
Okay.
Okay. Here's my question. You know people in Hollywood, whether
Loosely.
by acquaintance or whatever. One of the things that bugs me, and this is something I wanted to ask you personally, because all of these new TV series want to have representation in them. But every gay character they have is prissy and so effeminate. I'm sorry. I don't think that's representative of all gay people.
Right.
And to use that as the exclusive representation is rather insulting, wouldn't you think?
I mean, there are gay people who do act like that.
True.
But I think I don't know how to really answer that. They should have more characters that are that way, but are not stereotypically that way.
Exactly. That's my point. Whether they, it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. Is that character? Oh, they're in a relationship with a guy. Okay, they must be gay, but they don't act gay. I think it's in this stereotype.
It might be harder to write for a character who's gay who doesn't act gay, but I don't think it should be harder to write. But might be maybe they think the viewer might find it harder. I'm not sure how to answer that.
I don't think they have the ability. Honestly, I don't think the writers have the ability to create a character. And it was one thing in back in the 70s when it was all taboo and they were trying to make it a comedy, like with Soap.
I can't think of some examples where they had gay characters who didn't act flamboyant.
Right.
I remember, was it like 10 years ago, that original Sarah Silverman show? Do you remember that? She had friends, the two guys were a gay couple, but they didn't act gay.
Right.
So there's one example. And then I remember on Married to Children, there was a guy that Al Bundy met who didn't know the guy. He was like a good friend. Well, became a friend of his, but then the friend told him, "I'm gay," and like, "Oh, I didn't figure you were." And so there are exceptions to it, but yeah, for the most part, in TV or movies, like they act flamboyant if they're gay.
How you doing, Cat in the Shadows? Manda Merc. How you going?
But like I do know some people who are,
Right.
and it's I mean, there's a spectrum of how people are. Like, everybody has their own personalities, just like that people act totally non-stereotypical and the people who do and in between.
Mm-hmm. And see, that was my point, because it seems, for the most part, yes, you've named exceptions, but it seems for the most part they want to feed into this one stereotype. Because I think that's the only thing they know what to write. Because otherwise it would require thought, imagination, writing ability.
I think it's even harder if it's a comedy. They usually use that as part of the comedy.
Right.
Like, that's the comedic character, is this flamboyant person.
And it comes off good in that way, because it's meant to be a comedy. So I get it. But when you're talking about something which is supposed to be serious, I think you really need, just like you wouldn't have, I'm sorry, not every straight man is an asshole. Not every whatever stereotype, whatever. It seems they want to put each thing into its own pocket, and that's where it stays. And and I think if they want to be truly diverse, they need to be diverse and say, okay, this character can act this way, this character acts this way, whatever, and just kind of write like real people were doing it, not a stereotypical whatever.
Well, I think that's true for any character these days. They're just two-dimensional flat characters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's just only with those types of characters. I think it's every type of
Right.
character.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, it's right now the flavor of the month happens to be gay. But if you're talking about a Latino person, or a black person, or a Caucasian person, or Asian, whatever, there are always stereotypes for each thing. And rather than feeding into the stereotype, introduce other elements as well. Because not all black people are alike, not all Asian people are alike, and so on.
Uh, that's right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But yeah, sometimes, like when, especially if the writing team or production's just being told, all right, you need this type of character in your show. Like, they just need to shoehorn that race in there or something. Then the writer's like, okay, they probably want this character to act this certain way, so that's how they probably do it. I'm not saying that's their writing technique. I'm just saying that's what I figured is the way they do it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would agree. That's why I wanted to ask you. You have some greater insight than many people out there.
I will say, um, I definitely don't take part in any writing meetings or any of that, but I am on sets, and from what I witness, a lot of the white characters seem to be diverse and different types of characters. You know, straight guys. Well, mostly. Well, I it's hard for me to go into this. But yeah, if it's like a certain race, like they're more stereotyped than like a
Well, then another, yeah,
yeah.
which I think is wrong, personally. But what do I know?
Something, I hope.
Yeah.
Something more than me, right? My brain's mush. I'm a popsicle.
Well, hopefully that will improve as you are there a little bit longer and can get some rest before having to go home. But
Yeah, I think I'm returning next either during Sunday or Monday. So we'll be going to be here all week.
that sounds good. No, I just wanted to pop back up and while Phil was still on and ask something of him. But right now I've got to go to bed because, like I said,
Okay,
a
Cat.
long day. Thank you.
Yeah, great
Good
super.
night.
Good night.
Adopted it again, Cat. Catch you later. Another thing that can't be too loud. And I can't make it.
I hope I at least halfway answer that right. It's a touchy subject to talk about race and like, like
Yeah.
I don't want to get too into it, but I know if you listen to Latino slant, he gets more into that than I would. Polly, and he made some good points. I've been in the chats with him. Well, me texting. He says there needs to be more diversity, and I mostly agree with him. Okay, I'm getting tired.
Okay, Phil.
Gonna call it a night.
All right, Phil. Catch you later.
All right, have a good one. May the
Okay.
force be with you.
Yes, yours, as always. Anybody? Anybody at all? Save the soup you can. Save the soup you can. Or should I be sleeping on the job, as Thomas Fox said? And Nina Kent threw bottles at him. Yeah. Is the child Baby Yoda at all? Who is this child? What is the child? Right, mind what to know. Well, no. Uh, Yes, I'm utterly spent. Yes, sparkly vampires on ice or just sparkly vampires. If no sparkly vampires. That's what I'd rather say no sparkly vampires. Yep. No sparkly vampires at all. Okay. Well, this portion of Insomniac Soup will catch you all on the flip side. I have to get some rest so we can bring you a better soup next day. How does that sound? Does that sound good? We'll bring a better soup to you tomorrow. I think that's a clever idea. What do you all think? Or does anybody want to save me from myself? Because my body left an hour ago for rest. Okay, folks, you have a great day. Remember, be excellent to each other. 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm seeing. Thank you, Carlo. Yes, we'll catch y'all later in the next soup. Till then, be excellent to each other.